Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Teresa. I am a surface pattern designer and watercolor artist. In this tutorial, I am going to show you 3 easy ways to paint sand. All 3 methods are very similar to each other with little subtle differences. I hope one of them will help you paint sand more confidently. Okay, all 3 of our techniques will start with the same base, but I've sectioned the paper off into three sections so that we can look at each one separately. So I want to just get this first one wet, and this is just a simple wash. I'll take a little raw sienna and spread it out. This is the easiest one of all the methods because we're not really adding any extra texture. We are going to rely on the paint to give some texture. So I don't want even strokes so much, and it helps if you use textured paper. This paper is a little textured, but it's not heavily textured. If I were going to do this in a real painting, I would use more of a texture on my paper. Trying not to have straight brush lines so much. And now maybe let's do, I'm mixing up that raw sienna, a little burnt sienna. Let's get some darker tones in there while it's still wet. And maybe even using a somewhat dry brush. I'm gonna get a smaller brush, like this one. Not so much water since we have plenty of water on our paper. But I do need some pigment on it. And I don't want it in a pattern. And we can take some paper towel, come back to give it more texture. Okay, now let's go on to this one. Same thing, we're going to wet our surface. And you don't even have to wet the surface first. Did I say that? I'm going to bring that down a little bit because I'm going to have the, and I don't want that even either. I'll have the water coming up over that. I want to smooth this out a little more. I don't really care for that. And now this one, we do want a lot of water on this one. Again, let's not. This was the one we are going to put salt on. So the more water we use, the better. Within reason. We want it to have plenty to soak up. And I will add a little bit of other colors in here. Okay, now let's add the salt. And I like to use fine table salt for this because it just looks more like sand to me. Rather than the rock salt. The rock salt makes too much texture. And you don't have to cover the whole thing. My salt is stuck. Probably better if you don't cover the whole thing. Okay. So it's barely damp. So I'm going to use my fingers to add a little texture. You can kind of just slightly move your fingers to rough up the paint. Okay, now I'm going to take my toothbrush that is nice and wet. And oops, got some over there. And it's okay that it goes up there because that's the water. And it doesn't matter that it's over here because the salt will soak it up anyway. It'll just help that one as well. So I want a darker brown, so we'll have different colors. All right, let's let that dry. So the point of this first one was that we don't have to use these texture techniques. So I'm going to smooth those little flicks out, since that was not the purpose of this one. But I am going to smooth this texture a little bit. Add more sand movement, just to show you that you don't have to use these other techniques. And you don't want everything going linear. So we want some other lines going through here. It's kind of hard to do in a small space. This part will be covered up by water, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Oops. I don't know what the color was I got on there accidentally. I'm allowing my brush to be fairly dry now. Since this is going to be at the water's edge, we'll add some little wave ripples where it has come up on shore. Maybe with a little bit darker color. Actually, let's mix up. Some wet sand right here at the water's edge. Okay, everything is dry now. Let's get rid of the salt. So I'll just do this real quick. So I'm just mixing up a little cobalt blue and phthalo blue to get some water. I'm not going to take a lot of time doing this. I just thought it would be fun to make it look a little more like a beach. Okay, I think you get the idea. So, which way do you like best? This is a very effective way I've seen in a lot of paintings, especially if you're going to have plants and the shadows of the plants. And you can make it so that it's contoured. Maybe you have a little sand berm. You know, that's very effective that way. And then this one is very, very easy. We've got a couple of larger spots here that I'm not just crazy about personally. I think everything else looks great, but this is by far my favorite. I love using sea salt to do sand, and it can leave a little bit of a 3D effect too because some of the salt is still there. So I really like this method, but all three are good. And these are not the only ways to do sand. There are lots of different ways. These are just the easiest that I have found. So I hope you'll give those a try. And as always, and if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments below. So thanks for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon. If you like this one, give me a thumbs up and let me know. If there's something in particular that you would like to see, also let me know that too, and I will do a video on it. Hit that subscribe button as well if you're not already subscribed. So I'll see you soon.